Good afternoon. Today is Friday, November the 16th. Today in pre-calculus, we talked about, or correction, today in geometry, we talked about the slope of lines. So I will share my screen and show you a type of problem that we worked using the slope of lines. So if you remember the formula for the slope of a line, if you look, we draw our axis here. So this would be the y-axis, and this would be the x-axis. And then we have a line. So we have a line coming down like this. And we have 2 points on the line, so we'd have a point right here. This would be x1 and y1. And then we would have a second point somewhere up here, which would be coordinates x2 and y2. Remember, the formula for the slope is the change in y. So we have m equals the change in y, which is delta y over delta x. So that would equal to the change in y would be y2 minus y1 and the change in x would be x2 minus x1. So that's the formula for the slope of a line. Now, the thing to remember, if two lines are parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, the other type of line we're interested in would be perpendicular lines, and they have negative reciprocal, slopes. For instance, if one slope is, so if the slope of a line is, say, 3/4, then the slope of the perpendicular line, and I would write this the slope of the perpendicular line, this little perpendicular symbol here, equals, since the slope here is positive, the slope of the perpendicular would be negative, and then you invert the fraction, so it would be 4/3. So that's the way, if you know the slope of a line and you want to find the slope of a line that's perpendicular to it, then you invert the numbers and change the sign. If it's plus, it becomes minus. If it's minus, it becomes plus. So let's go ahead. We will look at a problem here and show you the type of problems we worked here. So I'll erase all this now. You could, if you didn't get everything before I started erasing, you just go back and pause your video, and then you can get what you need to get before the erasing starts taking place. So let's say we have a couple of points here. So we're going to say AB, point A equals, so let's say 3, 6. And B equals -9 and 2. And then we have C equals parentheses 5 and 4. And D equals 2 and 3. Okay, now, so what we want to find out here is the relationship between line AB and line CD. So here's line AB, and then line CD. So now, when we draw our axis, okay, so we go up here and we draw our axis. So we come down with, let's see if we can get us a grid here. That's not what we want. Okay, so we draw our axis. Here's our y-axis. Here's our x-axis. Now, so when you do something like this, you plot your points. Now, you don't have to sit there and measure them off. It just be roughly accurate. So we can plot the point here, which is 3 and 6, which is point A. And then point B is -9 and 2, which is way over here somewhere. Here's point B. So now if we look at the line that goes through those, we can draw the line from here up to here. And then we do CD, so C is 5 and 4, so 5 and 4 would be somewhere about right here. There's C. And D would be 2 and 3, which would be somewhere about right in here. Now, so that would be point D. Now, if you look at these two lines here, if I draw the line from here to here, it looks like they might be close to being parallel. So what we can do now is we can find our slopes. So we do, if we go back to text here, so the slope of AB equals 2. So I can do 6 minus 2 on top, 6 minus 2 divided by parentheses 3 minus 9. And if I work that out, I get a 4 on the top, and on the bottom I get a 12. And that reduces down to 1/3. Now, if I do the same thing with CD equals, okay, on top for CD, I have parentheses 4 minus 3 divided by, on the bottom, I have 5 minus 2. And that equals to 1 divided by 3. So since the slopes of AB and CD are equal, then these two lines are parallel. And I could say AB is parallel to CD. So when you're making decisions about whether two lines are parallel or perpendicular, you sketch them to see, I mean, if it's even reasonably close to one or the other. And then you use your slope formula here, which is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 for the AB. And then for the CD, it's once again y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And they end up being the same. So that tells you that these two lines are parallel. So look at your homework. If you have questions, send me an email. If you'll notice the schedule, I'll go ahead and stop sharing here. If you'll notice the schedule, on Monday, we will be doing the Chapter 3 mid-chapter quiz. So you should do that and send it to me in OneNote, or if you can't put it in OneNote, then take a picture of it and attach it to an email and send it to me that way. So I will see you again on Tuesday.